Ben, let's do it together.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Hello.
Hello, and welcome to
WayTooBroad.
Wait, you stopped at hello.
You do it, Hannah.
Yeah, I think that we fucked it up.
Hello and welcome to WayTooBroad, a place for friends to talk about things they're really, really ridiculously excited about. I'm Hannah, and these are my co-hosts. Erin and Ben. Hi, Erin.
Whoa! That was supposed to be a horse. It sounded like a turkey.
Hi, Ben.
Hello, thoroughbred brown. No.
Wasn't the Triple Crown winner named something Brown a few years ago?
Seabiscuit?
Yeah, Seabiscuit.
Brown.
Winner of the Triple Crown.
Yo.
Yeah.
I want to say something right up top
Please,
this week.
God,
Sup,
just
sup.
say it.
Just say it,
Okay.
Hannah.
And then I want to remember to say it at the end also, because I
Rip
forgot.
the Band-Aid off.
We have already received one lovely note from a lovely listener about things that they've liked about the first 50 episodes or so. And we want more. So please send us your thoughts on your favorite things we've done or said or talked about or subjects that you liked that we did. And please send them to our email or Twitter or just text them to us if you know us.
Speaking of email, I'd like to read an email right at the top.
Holy crap.
So we got an email this week called Stuff.
Wait, is it from my mom?
Yeah, it's from Aunt Brown.
No, we have to save that.
Oh.
Hey, I have to...
For
No.
episode 50.
I have to say something.
This is a different email, Hannah.
You guys,
okay,
I
okay.
have to say something.
What's going on, Ben?
has
Get
to
it off
say
your
something.
freaking chest.
There was a horse in 2008 named Big Brown who won the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness Stakes and did not win the Belmont Stakes, but if he had, he would have won the Triple Crown.
Big Brown.
I believe that's the Triple Crown. So that's
Brown won the
just
Triple
what
Crown.
I was thinking of. 10 years ago, Big Brown.
Wow. I'm going to start calling
horses.
you Big Brown.
Thank you.
Thoroughbred of sin.
Oh, do you know it's been 10 years since that too, I think.
Oh, really? Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dr. Evil.
horrible.
Well,
Evil.
I have an email to read.
Dr. Horrible.
Dr. Horrible.
It
Wow,
has
we
been
are
10 years, right?
a hot mess tonight.
Yeah.
If Hannah is done micromanaging me, I'm going to
Oh,
read
fuck.
this email.
All right.
Which
It better
I-
not be the one I think it is.
It's not.
Okay.
It's just not.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't know why this has to wait until episode 50, but it's called Stuff. Hi. It's from Aunt Brown. Hello, Aunt Brown. Hi. Hi back to you. I did leave you a lovely 5-star rating on Pod Night for whatever it's called. I hate iTunes. Sorry. Thank you for your review. You know what? I'm going to count this in my pledge to donate my direct message to Barack Hussein Obama to the first new reviewer. So that's you, Aunt Brown. So send us a note and I'll shoot that right off to President Obama. Second part of the email.
Happy birthday, Obama, a few days ago.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. He's our number one listener. Okay. I abandoned Audible recently and have been using the library-based app Hoopla. This may be the one Erin was thinking of. Works well. Nice to support the library, which is truly a socialist resource where the community resources are used for the good of all. Don't you agree? Yes, I do. Love me, Liz Brown, a.k.a. Aunt Brown. Well, thanks for the email. Hope that was okay for me to read it, Hannah.
It was fine.
I was like, normally we make Hannah read them, but I'm going to take a little bit of podcast ownership and read this email. And look at me, I walked right into a trap.
So sorry.
Are you, though?
No.
No, she's not. It's her show. Okay.
It's not. Listen, I would love for you guys to like do the countdown or do the intro.
No, you have to do those things.
Right, exactly. Because every time you do it, you fuck up.
But I can read an
Only
email.
when we try to do it at the same time.
Yeah, you can read an email.
I'm like literate, you know?
Yeah. Oh, I gotta give a shout out to this week's Mabim Bam. Because the friggin' ad read that Griffin did in the first ad that they did was so bad, and it was so funny. He first, it was for Wink, you know, like wine, like WINC, Wink.
Yeah.
And he spelled it WINCE. Wins. And then, immediately after that, he just, flubbed the copy so bad. I can't remember what it was, but it made me laugh. I had to go back and listen to it twice. I almost crashed my car.
Laughing or rewinding?
Both.
Yeah.
So, that's my only upfront thing this week. Plus that other
Great.
one.
Oh, I have an upfront thing, but should we do drinks first?
That's my only one. Other than that other one. Hannah, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking a local beer called Amphibian Days from Proclamation Ale Company. Hang on, I can't see.
That's not in review. Nope.
Still not.
Still not.
Cannot see it.
Can.
And
Beer
the listener cannot at all.
Well, it's a hoppy wheat ale that we got at the other day. It was so nice. Ian had to go into Boston for the day. And so he drove in with me to my work, which is in Providence, Rhode Island. And then I dropped him off at the train down the street from my office. And then later I picked him up and we drove
nice.
Over to this brewery, which just opened up less than a year ago, and tried out some drinks, and we went out to dinner, and we bought some to bring home, and it was really nice.
You guys are nice.
Yeah, we're nice.
Well, that looks good.
Yeah, Erin, what are you drinking?
I have pineapple rum with pineapple and mango juice, which is not very good, and a little bit of coconut rum and maraschino cherries, which is similar to what I had last week, but this one tastes a lot better.
That's good. Why?
I think because... Why?
Yeah, why is it better?
Why?
Can you expand on that?
It sounds like all the same ingredients. Why is it better?
Why? I think because I got less fancy with it. I put weird bitters in the last one. I also think I cracked the code of why. So I was making these. I was slinging these at the beach, and they were delicious.
The code of why?
Huh?
That's what I was asking.
Why?
Why?
Well, on our beach trip, I was slinging these left and right, and they were delicious. But I think it was because I was using a mango orange juice, which is a little heftier.
Right.
And this is a 15% juice. It's mostly sugar. So I think it's a little waterier and not quite as doesn't carry the drink as well as the orange juice. So lesson learned.
Live and learn. That's what I always say.
Live and burn.
Ben, what are you drinking?
Ben, what are you drinking?
What the fuck you think I'm drinking?
Why?
What? That's a good question. I don't know why I reacted like that.
Why?
I have another upfront thing.
Oh, wait. I want to tell everyone it's a Weird Monday episode.
We're early.
It's a
We're
Weird
so
Monday
early.
episode, yeah.
There's daylight pouring in through my window.
Okay, Ben, what's your upfront thing?
It was almost my obsession, but then I realized that I've now talked about baseball for 2 weeks in a row, and I was like, I shouldn't do a third week.
3, maybe.
Yeah,
Has it been 3?
Not in a row, but you had 3, yeah.
Yeah, I decided I shouldn't do it again, but I really just I've been looking for a place to talk about the series that the Red Sox just played this past Thursday through Sunday, which is the previous Thursday through Sunday when this comes out. They played a 4-game series against the Yankees, and they swept them
Ooh.
And now they're 9.5 games up in the division, and it's so good. And the games were so good. Like, and I want to talk about the last one in particular real quick, because it was just amazing. They were down, like, both the starting pitchers, the Red Sox and Yankees, pitched really, really well. But ours, like, pitched slightly worse, and then a reliever that came in gave up 2 runs. And eventually, by the bottom of the 9th inning, the Yankees had a 4-1 lead.
Mm-hmm.
And Aroldis Chapman, who is their closer, was pitching, who I've mentioned on the podcast before as someone I strongly dislike because he abused his significant other and fired 8 gunshots and was only suspended and not kicked out of baseball forever.
This was the bottom of the 9th?
Bottom of the 9th.
4 up Yankees.
3 up.
4-1.
4-1.
4-1. I did quick math in my head is the problem.
He has converted 22 saves in a row, which is like second most in Yankees history.
Excuse me, what's that mean?
So a save in baseball means when a pitcher comes in to end the game when the opposing team is down by 3 or less runs, 3 or fewer runs.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know
so
that.
It's like,
good term.
It's when you end a close game, basically. And that's what closers are usually reserved for. Is for close games, basically.
Closers.
So he's done 22 of these in a row. He's the guy that throws, like, his fastball peaks at like 104 miles per hour. He throws faster than anybody else. And the first batter walks. The second batter strikes out. The third batter walks. So we got 2 people aboard, which means the tying run is at the plate.
Mm-hmm.
He also walks.
Mm-hmm.
Then someone strikes out. So we got 2 outs. Bottom of the 9th. Bases are loaded.
And you're like on the edge of your seat.
Oh yeah, I was freaking. And this was a really long game because both of the starting pitchers were like kind of slow working. They like both worked at a slow pace. So it like went on for a while. This is like
Sounds
4.5 hours in-ish. No, like 4 hours in. JD Martinez comes up, who is like the best hitter in baseball, but up to this point in that night, he's like 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Not having a great night. He singles up the middle against Aroldis Chapman and scores 2 runs.
Whoa.
So now it's 4-3 Red Sox.
Oh.
Bottom of the 9th, 2 outs. Fucking Xander Bogaerts comes up, who was the Red Sox shortstop. And this is the best part, because previously the Yankees only had a 2-1 lead a few innings ago, but Xander Bogaerts made an error at shortstop that gave up 2 runs, which is why they had a 4-1 lead in the first place instead of a 2-1 lead. Like if that didn't happen, that single would have won the game for the Red Sox. It would have been 3-2 at the bottom of the 9th. They would have won the game right away.
A redemption story.
Yes, he grounds to. So there's a man on first and second still. He grounds to third base. Looks like a routine play. The third baseman throws it a little short. There's a weird hop at first. First baseman drops the balls, everyone's safe. Jackie Bradley Jr., who was on second, runs all the way from second to home, and it's a tie fucking game in the bottom of the 9th.
So earlier you said 4-3 Red Sox, and you meant 4-3 Yankees.
Yes, I did.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, sorry. So, I think the next batter like struck out or something, but that was, so went into extra innings. Bottom of the 10th, they, through a similar series of events, like a couple of walks, they end up with a man on first and second. And the guy on second is our catcher, who's really slow. So we use a pinch runner. We swap out a runner for him.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Benintendi comes up, who is our left fielder. Andrew Benintendi, the Red Sox left fielder, comes up. He is like the Yankees slayer. He's hitting like 18 straight, hits safely in 18 straight games against the Yankees. He's like 3 for 5, I think, coming up to the plate already that night. He hits a single up the middle. The guy in second comes all the way to score, and the Red Sox fucking win in the bottom of the 10th.
Holy shit. Were you flipping your shit?
I was freaking out. It was amazing. And that was like at 1 a.m.
Man.
Wow.
And that game started at 8. It was wild.
Holy
but it was like
shit.
one of the best games I've ever seen. And it was so satisfying to see Aroldis Chapman blow a save and blow his like 22 consecutive save streak, because I hate him.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy.
Seriously.
Do you think Rhea Butcher's going to have some stuff to say about that game?
Almost definitely. I am still behind though, but I'm catching up pretty quickly.
Cool.
Well, I don't think they've released an episode this week. Because I'm listening to the latest ones. I'm not listening to the back catalog.
It's actually kind of nice because it's like, because they talk about like news in the season, like games that have happened at the beginning of each episode. And so like, it's a good way for me to like recap the rest of the season and kind of what else happened in baseball because I was only paying attention to the Red Sox.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to get to like current episodes. I'll be caught up by like the postseason, which is exciting.
Cool.
That's so baseball. Yeah. Like, it's such a slow sport, but that like slow build up makes it so exciting.
Yeah,
it's like PUBG. Hey,
just like PUBG.
I have a thing.
Yeah,
that Erin said while you were talking, Ben, and I loved it, but I couldn't get a dang word in edgewise with you two. Okay.
What did I say that you loved?
Well, okay, I think what you said was good terminology, but you just went like good terminology. I think is what you said.
I did do that. I said good terminology.
Yeah, but I thought that could be a good thing that you could say if you're trying to just be a little cute. You could be like, "That's a good term for monology."
That was cute. You're right.
It was so cute, right?
Good term. Monology.
Yeah, terminology. Like,
well, that's very.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
It's like, thanks for adding to monology.
Oh, monology. I see.
You get it.
Yeah. Well, that was a good little. Congratulations for you, Ben.
Congratulations for you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
I'm really excited about you. And your sport.
It's a good sport. It's the only one I care about.
It's a good one.
Cool. Any other upfront stuff?
No.
Of course not.
Did you catch any flies in that fly strip?
Yes. Most of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
I don't see any is the only reason I'm asking.
Well, it's dark.
Okay.
Hold on.
You don't have to show me.
Please, no. God, don't show me.
Okay, no. Can you talk about your fingernail yet?
Yeah, it's my first. It's me. Is it me now?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So my obsession this week is a cosmetics company called Espionage Cosmetics.
Ooh, are they Russian?
Are they spies?
So what'd you say, Erin?
Are they Russian?
Russian? No, they're not Russian. They're not spies. Great jokes, guys.
That's usually how people acknowledge great jokes, is by saying great jokes. Without any laughter.
That's so funny.
That's very amusing.
They are I don't know why they're called Espionage Cosmetics, because they're
spies.
They're a makeup and like nail art company that does like a bunch of like, they call it nerd makeup, and they have little like
maybe it's because they're undercover, girl.
I liked it.
Good joke.
Good joke.
Thank you.
Okay. So let me tell you about some of their products. They have something called a cartridge compact, which is sort of what it sounds like. It's a makeup compact that looks
what
like.
Does it sound like? Oh.
That looks like a game cartridge, like an old school game cartridge.
Like
that's neat.
Spy makeup. Like it's like Q would make for James Bond.
So like, let me see.
If James Bond wore
figured
makeup.
It out.
If James Bond wore makeup.
I'm going to screen share with you guys a link that I will later show to the listener. Share screen.
Do you ever go to look this up and you just Google the word espionage?
No.
Oh.
Because that did not help.
Nerd makeup.
Right, let me see this bullshit.
They've got so many pop-ups on their fucking website.
Describe this in detail for the listener.
So
that's a Link's Awakening.
Yeah,
that's what that
it's like
cartridge
the Link's
like.
Awakening cartridge, except it says nerd makeup instead in the right fonts and everything. And they have other ones too for other games. Like you can see another one here that's like Tetris and
so it looks like a little Game Boy cartridge.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a Game Boy cart. It's like some kind of old PlayStation
It's
cartridge.
a Game Boy. Wait, which one?
No, it's a Game Boy.
Is it?
It's like an
It
old
was
Game
a Game
Boy.
Boy Color. The Zelda one was a Game Boy Color.
You frick.
I don't know.
Aaron's
The website's not great. Okay. Like
Okay, no, that was your eyes not being
Wow,
great.
you
That was
cannot
your
blame the website for that.
That was your brain not being great. Like, it was like a picture perfect, clear image of it, and you're like, oh, it's just the website. I couldn't see it.
No, I'm not saying that. I forgot I wasn't screen sharing with you guys anymore. There were like 15 pop-ups that came up all at once.
Okay.
So I was, okay, I believe you if you say that's an old Game Boy cartridge, because I don't know.
2 against 1, you frick.
Exactly.
That's really neat, though. That's cool. It looks just like one.
Yeah, so they have like those things, but I don't really wear much makeup. But the thing that I'm really excited about, and the reason I didn't want to tell you about my fingernail earlier, is that they also have a line of nail
Stickers?
Holy shit, these are glow in the dark. I didn't even know that.
Okay, his backup Hannah has like one colored nail, one discolored nail.
Wow, that's great description. They are nail wraps that they sell, and they have all different kinds. This is actually like totally like promotion working on me, like classic, just like marketing working on me, because what happened was that Travis McElroy's been at a lot of cons lately, and he's a notorious nail art lover. And this company, being the smart nerd company that they are, were also at a con recently, and they gave him some nail wraps to use that he was very excited about and put on his Instagram. And I saw them and I was like, those are amazing. And the ones he had were like tentacles, kind of like an undersea animal. But octopus, that's the one. But they also do licenses, and one of the ones that they have is for Stardew Valley, and they have Stardew Valleyscapes nail art, which is made to look like either the valleyscape in the morning or during the day, or the valleyscape at night. And they're
I did not understand that message you sent me, what I was looking at.
Oh, okay. Let's see. So I'll post a link to it, but that's the daytime one, and there's the nighttime one.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, and also I just love the level of detail that they went into. These came today. So the reason I have 2 discolored nails is because I've only done 2 of them so far. But there's the nighttime and there's the daytime.
Oh, cool. It looks good.
Yeah, they look pretty nice. And they have like the inside of Pierre's shop on the inside of their.
Look at that.
Yeah, so it's like,
that reminds me, we should start playing co-op Stardew Valley this weekend.
We totally should. I'm gonna see Rachel while I'm in Chicago.
Oh, great.
Oh, cool.
Shout out to Rachel. By the time you hear this, we will have already seen each other.
Oh my gosh, we'll tell her we say hey. And Rachel, we said hey. And you'll have known that because Hannah will have already told you. See, I told you.
And
I
this
said
is
hey.
great insurance, because if I forget,
that's right,
then you'll still hear hey.
That's
from
right.
them.
Well, she should have said it already.
I should have, but this is, and it has a quote from Pierre on it. In it, Pierre's the shopkeeper, Erin, and it says, "My nail wraps are vastly superior to Joja wraps. Don't even bother trying theirs. Just ask Caroline or Abby. They can't stop wearing them." Which is funny because Joja is his rival, and the bad guys. Nemesis is the word.
Nemesis.
So that's the whole thing. I just think that their stuff is pretty cool, and I like that they, like, there's a way to engage with kind of like nerd culture that can be like very what's the word?
Bad, good, funny.
Like they're taking
That's all I
advantage of
got.
them,
Yeah.
you know. But this, the attention to detail really makes me feel like there is a nerd behind developing these products, which like makes me happy. You know, they didn't have to make they have like a set. They have a few Stardew Valley ones, and one of the ones they have is it's like the ocean, and you know, there's that one festival where you go, and it's like there's special events all throughout the year in Stardew Valley, Erin. There's one where it's like a fucking like dancing jellyfish festival. It's like the end of the summer, and
yeah,
like,
we have one of those.
Yeah, and everybody goes down to the ocean at night together and watches these like special glowing jellyfish like float away, and that's like just one of the special events, and it's really pretty, and there's nice music, and it's just like kind of a nice romantic moment if you happen to be romancing an NPC, you know. But like but they have a pair of nail things that it's fish during the day, and then it's glowing jellyfish that glow in the dark. Like, stuff like that is just, like, very cool. I like them.
Is that merchandise, like, licensed by Chucklefish?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's got, it's got their little logo right on the front, just like when you start up the game. Yeah, it's really cute. So... yeah, they do all kinds of partnerships and stuff, which is nice too. So it's also nice to feel like I am actually supporting the games that I like. You know, the nerd makeup things, the things I was showing you before, probably not so much giving money to anybody but themselves because they changed all the words and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, but I think this element is really cool. And it's like also kind of feels like a way, like as much as makeup and nail art is not really my thing, it does feel like a way to make nerd culture feel a little more accessible to parts of our culture where, you know, they maybe still don't feel as naturally welcome. Like femme-ish women.
I love that Travis is, like, supporting, like, just, like, out and about, like, wearing...
Oh, he loves it.
Yeah. I'm not describing that...
Every time he gives himself a manicure, he tweets about it. It's
I just love that. I love that, like, as we're seeing... we're seeing that more and more, which I think is a really positive sign of our culture. Is just like that. It's not just for women. It's great. It's for everybody. It's for everybody who wants to present in that way, and I love that.
Yeah. So the reason I was thinking about my trip to Chicago is because I'm thinking even if these don't hold up, I feel like they're gonna make my trip like a lot better just because, like, I'm going to be looking at them and it'll remind me of the peaceful Stardew Valley.
I love me some Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
Do they have one long enough for your freakish pinky nail?
Well, I clipped them a little bit, so...
Oh, boy, not enough.
Not enough.
But to answer your question, yes, they do.
Oh, wow. They got you covered.
Did you hear about the guy who had the world record for the longest fingernails?
Yes, it was shorter than Hannah's.
No.
Fucking burn.
Oh, man.
You freak.
You're a freak. How long was it?
Way too long.
So long.
Like dozens of feet.
Yeah.
He hadn't cut them in like 60 years or something.
Wow. Yeah.
But he cut them. But his like hand had permanently atrophied from the weight of them.
Wow.
He like can't make a fist with his hand anymore.
Wow.
Yeah. They were so disgusting. They were so long.
What was his motivation? God. Just pride?
I don't know.
Pride?
I know his motivation is the most insane part. Somebody, like, I think it was a teacher in, like, his grade school days told him that he could never grow his nails out. And he did it to prove her wrong. I'm not joking.
Wow.
Yeah.
Boy, he had the last laugh. Somebody needs to tell him that he'll never make a fist again. And
she probably died like 20 years ago also. Like, he's super fucking old.
Yeah, he's so old. I don't understand how he lived.
I don't know.
Okay, hang on. I gotta take notes of all the fucking links I have to do now because of our fucking conversations.
God. I can't believe how shitty you are.
This is your fault.
I work with someone who I was talking to the other day who said she didn't like sweet things. And I was like, okay. I don't know. I didn't have much of a response to it because there's not really a response to that. Mm-hmm. And she was like, and I have a really weird reason why. And I was like, why? Did you like decide as a kid you didn't or something? And she was like, yeah. And she told it, apparently when she was a kid, her, like, parents were trying to get her to eat her vegetables or something, and they were like, you can't have dessert until you eat broccoli. And she was like, I don't even like dessert anyway. And then, like, just has been stubborn about that for so long that she doesn't like anything sweet anymore.
Wow, that's pretty awesome, though.
Yeah, I guess.
Is it?
I don't know. I guess not. You're right. That would suck. But like all the temptations are not.
Yeah.
I've definitely caught her slipping on that.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a bold
come
statement. Like what? Like a piece of gum? Like what? Like a
you fucking weirdo.
like an Oreo cookie? Like what are we talking here?
It's just nothing.
Like a freaking like a tea? Like
freaking. Oh, they have the Wicked and the Divine nail wraps too, by the way. P.S. BT Dub.
Have you talked about those in the session, right?
I think.
Or did I?
No.
Did either of us?
No.
Oh my god. Oh, I was gonna at some point, but something else I think overtook it that week. Because I read through all of those in like a week. Those are so good.
They're so good.
Quick,
I can't wait for
honorable
the next
mention. Dual honorable mention from me and Hannah.
Yeah.
Such a good graphic novel series, The Wicked and the Divine.
Yeah.
Shoutouts to Kylie for finding that.
Shoutouts to Kylie.
Shoutouts to Kylie.
Okay, it's Erin's turn now.
My turn now. Great obsession, Hannah.
Thank you.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty okay. So it's the whole makeup line. Say the makeup line again.
Huh?
What's the makeup line called?
Espionage Cosmetics.
Espionage, that's right. We made a lot of jokes about that. I remember that now. Okay, mine again is an audiobook that I listened to. That's read and listened to.
Oh, all right.
Can you tell Erin has a long commute now?
Yeah, such a long commute. I'm averaging a book a week on my commute. This one was kind of a short one. This was a young adult fiction novel called Annie on My Mind. It's a LGBTQ. It's about two high school age girls who fall in love. Great book. So I had seen this in kind of like my research of like looking for kind of gay fiction to read / listen to. And kept seeing this one come up with good reviews, so I decided to give it a shot. I listened to it on Audible, loved the narrator, really, really liked the narrator, really loved the book. The book is just so sweet and tender and like the most accurately depicted and described like feeling of like falling in love that I've like ever heard in a book. Like just really captures like the beauty and tenderness of like that whole process, and especially for a book about like about gay love, it really spends a lot of time focusing not on like the aspect of like scandal or shame or any of those things, but really on the love story. Of course, because it can't just be a happy love story from beginning to end, and then it just ends happily and nothing terrible happens, because that would not be a very interesting book, although I would actually really be into that. A perfect love story with no turmoil would be really into that, actually.
That would be a good name for a book.
Yeah. Because like,
and then it's true to its word.
Write that book. Right.
Exactly. I feel like I was thinking about this, and I was like getting to this really hard part of the book, which I'll get into, and feeling like really sad that we had to go through that. And then I was like, well, I guess it wouldn't be an interesting book without turmoil. But I actually disagree with that. Like, what if I read a book and all it was like a really beautiful love story and nothing bad happened and then it ended happily? I would fucking love that. Actually. Like, dollars to donuts. I don't know if I used that right, but I would.
You did.
I challenge you, readers, if you've ever read a book, and it doesn't have to be a gay book, and you won't find one, I promise you that. But in general, but if you know of a book that all it is like a really beautiful story that then just ends happily, let me know. I'll read it and I'll tell you right now I'll love it. Okay.
I feel like that I like I don't know. I feel like it popped in my head that like, oh well, there's this, but then this didn't arrive.
You know, the first thing I thought of was A Walk to Remember, but then I was like, oh no.
Yeah. Oh, you know what is interesting though, and I'll allow it because it's not bad. Like, I don't think a book necessarily needs a negative turn. Something that is really compelling to me is in the process of that love story to have a lot of tension leading up to it, but not necessarily like anything negative. Just like, are they or aren't they, or like you just like makes you want it for so long.
Oh fuck! You know what? You should
happens.
Fucking watch Terrace House.
Okay. All right, I will.
Isn't that a reality show?
Yes, and you can't listen to it in the car because it's in Japanese. I'm just saying, if that's what you want, Erin, you should watch Terrace House. Or I do wish there was a gay Terrace House. There was one character that turned up, and I was
Terrace
like,
House?
"Oh God, I wish she was." I hope she's gay, but she wasn't.
Gayest house. So this book. Let me tell you about this book. So it put me through the ringer too, because the negative parts are real.
LGBTQ Terrace House. Found it.
No, you knew it was there. There it is.
Yeah.
The negative parts of this book are so I mean I think you can think about it, right? It's about two like 17-year-old girls who fall in love. One goes to a private school that's like a Christian private school. I think you can see where this is heading. You can kind of imagine what the negative aspects of this book, or what the points of turmoil is, and it involves a lot of homophobia, just like really deep, terrible homophobia. Like these girls love each other and they have this like really beautiful thing and this really beautiful relationship, and then they're met with overwhelming homophobia and just like a world that doesn't understand them and thinks what they're doing is sinful and disgusting and a phase, and just really, it's really, really upsetting. Like to the point where I was telling my co-hosts outside of pod that I literally like put the audiobook on 2 times speed so that I could still listen to it. Like I could listen to it and understand all of it, but just like get through it faster. Like I couldn't deal with it at like 1 time speed. So the thing that came up for me the most, I've been thinking about this book so much, and the thing that comes up the most for me when I was listening to it, when I was done listening to it, and just thinking about it since, is gratitude. Just enormous amounts of gratitude. Oh, and one other thing, when I was listening to this book and just we're wading through this huge sea, these girls live in New York City, right? So, but they're experiencing just like terrible homophobia, and I was kind of like a little annoyed at the level of it. Like I couldn't tell what time period it was set in. I knew they didn't have cell phones, but I assumed it was like the 90s or something like that. I don't know. Like they're high schoolers and don't have cell phones. Like I don't know when that became popular, but probably not till the 2000s or so. And I was a little frustrated with the author for what I felt was really kind of laying in on the homophobia, just like a little hard. Like it was like, they're in New York City. It wouldn't be like this bad. But then the book was published in 1982. Like
wow.
Yeah. So just the level of like, which struck me for a couple reasons. One, it made a lot of sense. Just kind of like not only understanding, but appreciating maybe the accuracy of the depiction of what they faced in that time period, and also the way that the book was, the main tone of the book obviously like resonated so much with me, because most of it focused on like the feeling of you know, being in love and having that relationship be a homosexual one, and like the excitement of that and the specialness of it, and it really focused on that and captured those feelings well. And it was published in 1982, and it was obviously drawn a lot from the author Nancy Garden's experience being gay, like realizing she was gay, realizing it in high school, falling in love with one of her classmates in high school, and them having a relationship, and they eventually like got married and like lived together for 42 years.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, really great. And there's a really lovely like Q&A with the author after this audiobook, which I assume would probably be in the back of a book if you bought a hard copy. So just like, but I felt a lot of gratitude. I felt gratitude that this book was written. You know, it has, I won't be sad to spoil it, a happy ending. I felt gratitude for the time that I live in and like the acceptance of like my friends and family, and that I can be with the person that I love. Like, just like the main central whole entire like center point of my life is my relationship with Molly, and that I can live freely and openly in my community. I can be out at work. I can be out to my friends and family. I can come home and like we can just like have this domestic life together, which is recent. Like I was thinking about this, and marriage became legal in the state that I got married in June of 2015, and I got married in April of 2016. Like that is less than a year of it being legal that I got married. Like that is crazy. That's crazy, right? Like it can just it doesn't feel as recent as it is. Like and that attitude is still there are probably people who are experiencing, there are definitely people who are experiencing the kind of turmoil depicted in this book in the United States, like right now, in different states. In this state,
was that only after the Supreme Court decision?
We were with you guys.
It didn't even get voted on in the state.
No,
like it didn't even get voted to be legal in the state, right?
It
like,
wouldn't have.
No,
yeah, that's insane.
It was like, was it Mimi's birthday party? Is that why we were there? And because I remember us like all being very excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was June of 2015.
Yep. Yeah. So just a lot of feelings in this book that were brought up for me.
Think of it this way. You probably did at the time. When I got engaged, it was not yet legal for you to be married in your state.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. It's fucking crazy. I was living with Molly thinking that, like, not knowing that if I could get married to her in the timeline that we were wanting to get married, not knowing if that would ever happen. Like, we could go to another state, of course.
Right, we used to talk about that. I used to be like, come get married in Massachusetts.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah.
But
how surreal, like, that's so fucking weird that was ever even a conversation.
I know.
You know, like,
I know.
Like that, and that it was so normal for us to talk about it like that.
Yeah.
That's bizarre and awful.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah, like but even more of like, I guess if I got married in Massachusetts, we could file our taxes jointly in federal but not state. Like, it's just like, it's crazy, right? So just like not taking that for granted, like really just feeling so much gratitude about that. I'm sad. I wish she had written a sequel. I don't know. She didn't, and she passed away, unfortunately, Nancy Garden, which I was really sad to see. But she wrote a ton of books, mostly young adult fiction, like fantasy stuff, not necessarily old gay stuff, but she also wrote some children's books for LGBTQ families. And anyway, Annie on My Mind, really great book. I feel like there's something else I was going to say about it.
Can you say the name of the author again?
Nancy Garden.
Have you heard of the
Wait. I just wanted to mention one last thing. That's what I was going to mention. That the book itself obviously received a lot of hate. Reception. It got a lot of praise, got a lot of hate. The book is number 48 on the 100 most frequently challenged books during the period 1990 to 2000. Right? 1990 to 2000, you guys.
The most frequently what?
Challenged books.
What does that mean?
Like, challenged, like, taken off the shelves, like, burned.
Wow.
In 1993, the LGBT organization Project 21, donated the book to a bunch of Kansas City schools, and some parents or to schools and to some schools, and some parents objected and like burned a bunch of copies.
Wow.
In 1993. That's like a decade after the book was released.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I know. So anyway.
Have you heard of the
What were
miseducation
you
of
saying,
Cameron
Ben?
Post?
Of what?
The miseducation of Cameron Post?
I haven't.
I had that downloaded in Audible.
It's the movie's coming out. Or came out.
Have you seen it?
Which one
And,
is
like,
it then?
No, I haven't. I saw it in I saw previews for it when I saw 8th grade. It's about, here, let me read you the little synopsis. In 1993, after teenage Cameron is caught in the backseat of a car with the prom queen, she is sent away to a treatment center in a remote area called God's Promise. While she's being subjected to questionable gay conversion therapies, she bonds with some fellow residents as they pretend to go along with the process while waiting to be released. I take issue with them calling them questionable.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like we could use a stronger word there.
Yeah.
How about, like, detestable?
Yeah. That sounds like the plot to But I'm a Cheerleader.
Yeah, it does.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if it was
that's a good
based off of
movie.
that.
But you see what I'm saying? I just want like a happy book where they just fall in
Yeah.
love and then live happily ever after. That's all that needs to happen.
Yeah.
Like I can get my kicks from that. I don't need like a whole emotional like rock tumbler.
Well, I'm going to read that book. Probably I'm going to listen to it. I'm going to re-listen.
Yeah,
to
I
it.
really liked the narrator.
Great.
I knocked my microphone and made that noise for some reason.
Why?
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 But why?
An honorable mention for me. I've been getting back into, wait for it, Pokemon Go.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Gross.
Yep. Did you say gross?
Yeah, I do not like
Oh,
that.
no, why not?
I like other versions of Pokemon so much more.
Well,
I have a weird... I've talked about
Ben,
my weird thing with
just
Pokemon Go
fucking
where
go
it
cry
bothers
about
me. It bothers me that that's like a lot of young kids nowadays' first introduction to Pokemon
least
when I
they're-
feel like there are much better ones.
at least
and
they're
much
getting
just-
it. Maybe it's a gateway into the other ones.
Maybe, but
I don't think it's
I feel
detracting like your...
But here's the thing, is like a lot of kids have like iPods and iPhones
And
nowadays.
I don't know anymore.
And don't oh my god. And don't get I'm not trying to say like that's bad inherently. I'm just saying I don't think a lot of them are gonna get like Nintendo DS's or Game Boy Advances and play any of the other Pokemon games as much as I wish
Is
they
that
would.
based off of
'Cause they're
any
so
research or
good.
facts, Benjamin?
It's based on anecdotal evidence of my experience with Kylie's three siblings and 2 step-siblings.
Okay.
It's based on 5 children, Erin.
Yeah, it's a good sample size.
5 children from the same family.
I just want everyone to play Pokemon, but not Pokemon
So do you think
Go.
that these children who are playing Pokemon Go, not that I want to get into this, but to get into it, do you think that these children who are playing Pokemon Go if Pokemon Go didn't exist, they would have picked up Pokemon on their own? Or are they less like, are they more
I don't
likely
know.
or less likely to then go on to Pokemon?
Yeah, Ben.
I don't think they're any more likely. I think they're the same.
Okay.
That's my problem with
He
it.
thinks
Is I
they're
don't
the
think that
same
there's
likely.
actually. But you know what I will say is that with the new games that are coming out, they've like now made a direct link between Pokemon Go and like the main series games. Although even those games are going to play a lot differently, but they'll at least be like more similar, and they're going to be a remake of the first generation. So like that is a positive step, I think, for like getting people who are into Pokemon Go into the main series as well.
God.
So I'm happy about that.
I just deleted my app and all the data. You're welcome, Ben. Fuck Pokemon Go. Honorable unmention.
Such a fucking nerd. Nerd alert.
I just like never come in here with heat about y'all's obsessions. Is all I'm saying. Never come packing heat against things you love. All right, cool. I'm done.
Cool. Great one,
Great
Erin.
job.
Thanks.
And I like Pokemon Go, so fuck you, Ben.
I thought that we ended on a good resolution, but then you guys got mad still.
Ben, it's your turn.
Ben,
Go.
it's your turn. Go.
Ben, go.
Well, don't Pokemon go, just regular go.
My obsession is a show that I just finished an episode of, and I'm going to watch more of right after this. It's on HBO. It's called The Leftovers.
The Leftovers.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah. Have you guys seen it?
No.
Or heard of
I've
it?
heard of it.
It's from the same guy who made Lost, which doesn't... I've never seen Lost, so that's just for other people. Like, that wasn't a selling point for me, because I've never seen Lost.
Thanks for
but it
throwing
probably
that
is
in for other people.
I don't like The Leftovers.
Lost is very famous.
I don't like The Leftovers because it detracts people from watching Lost, which is much better. Gosh, this sounds... I feel like I've seen the preview. Who's in it?
The preview?
Justin Theroux and Christopher
Justin
Eccleston.
Theroux, the Canadian Prime Minister?
Yes. And Carrie Coon, who I've never seen in anything else, but she's fantastic in this show.
Kerkanoon.
And fuck, what's hold on, I have to look up the name of the actress because she's really good.
Erin, are you laughing at my joke?
Yep. I was searching Leftovers and trust falling on the internet here.
Liv Tyler is in
Liv
it.
Tyler.
And
I love her.
Ann Dowd is in it. She's very good in it. A lot of people. Janelle Maloney, who's in The West Wing, and she has a minor role in this also.
Holy
It's
moly.
about...
I remember
Alright,
this
here's
trailer.
the premise.
Sorry.
Here's the premise. You ready, motherfuckers?
Ready!
Alright. On October 14th, one day, or one, I don't know the year, but October 14th.
1 year.
Aren't you reading this?
No, I'm not reading it. Okay. I was about to say on October 14th one day, but I was like, the day was October 14th.
On the one day.
Anyway,
that one day, which was
1
October
year.
14th.
1 year on a day which was October 14th. 2% of the world's population vanishes.
So it's like The Departed. Or the Left Behind.
The Departed or The Leftovers.
Departed. That's actually what they call the people who leave,
Yeah.
who like disappeared as
This
The
is a
Departed.
fucking knockoff.
In a lot of cases.
The Departed is about like Boston or something.
Yeah.
And like the mob.
Yeah, and the mob of people who are left behind.
It's like the Left Behind series, which I read all of as a youth.
You're cool.
Yeah, you're so cool, Hannah. Wow.
Fucking bragging about
Proven
reading.
literacy over
You're
here.
great.
I read it with our grandma, and we talked about it like a little mini book
She was
club.
great. I loved her.
Yeah, she was great.
Our shared
But-
grandma?
No,
No.
our non-shared grandma.
We don't call her grandma. Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
you're right.
Catch
Well, you
up.
would say my grandma, Mimi. You wouldn't say my Mimi.
I would say just Mimi,
You're
probably.
right. You're right. You're
For
right.
you guys.
In
Yeah.
this crowd,
Okay.
I would just say Mimi.
Okay.
Anyway,
Frick.
I just want to be clear when I say vanished. I don't mean like it's like they got kidnapped or something. Like they disappeared. Like they literally like were there and then suddenly
The
vanished.
rapture.
So there's a supernatural type. Well, that's naturally a lot of like cults and religious things come out of this experience. And the show starts like 2 years after the events of the 14th.
That day. That one day.
Yeah, that one day, that 1 year. And it takes place in a town in upstate New York called Mapleton. The main character is a guy named Kevin Garvey. He's the chief of police in Mapleton. And it's just kind of like about the aftermath of the world after this event, after this happened, like how things have changed, how it's affected society, how it's affected individuals. There's this really, I think my favorite thing about the show is like, because the whole premise is this like supernatural thing that happened. Like obviously this was not a normal event, right? Like there was some kind of supernatural thing going on, but the rest of the drama of the show is so like kind of human based and realistic. Like it's very realistic human reactions to this kind of event. And it sets up this scenario where like anytime there's like anything out of the ordinary, you're really left wondering, you're like basically wondering constantly if what's happening is like really something like supernatural, or there's something else going on, or if it's just like a weird coincidence that happened. And this is added to by the fact that the main character's dad was the chief of police before him, but lost his job when he went insane because he's schizophrenic and like hears these voices. But even those, like, you start to kind of think maybe there's like actually someone talking to him, and since there's like this history of mental illness in the family, oftentimes the main character will like go through events, and you're like, did that happen? Is he going insane? Like, there were these actual events? Like, there's so much of that, and it's so well done, because I don't know, I just love that whole like being on the edge of my seat the whole time, not knowing what's real.
Like unreliable narrator shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, exactly?
Why is that a question?
I don't know.
That made me feel
I don't understand what you
validated and invalidated at the same time.
Yeah.
I thought I agreed, but then I realized I don't understand what you meant.
Have you ever read a book with an unreliable narrator? Like, you're not sure if you can trust your narrator?
Oh, no, I don't think I have.
What are some examples of that?
You brought it up, so it seems like it's on you to come up with them.
Am I taking a fucking literature class?
Examples of books with unreliable narrators.
What would you say are some examples of this?
Am I watching a fucking show for babies? So
it's
how
kind
many
of like...
fingers are there now? And then you wait, because the kids talk to the TV.
Let me
'cause they're
find some
dumb.
famous ones.
While you're finding that, I'll say I think it's kind of similar to why I like Haruki Murakami and magical realism so much, is because it's like this whole... Well, it's slightly different, because like in magical realism, like all this weird shit happens and it's just accepted as true. But like in the case of The Leftovers, it's like weird shit happens, and like despite the fact that it indisputably happens sometimes, well, actually, there's like this one thing that indisputably was fucking weird and unexplainable that definitely happened, and so it suddenly brings everything else into question.
Okay, so that's...
And like people still react to it by wanting to like rationalize
An
it.
unreliable narrator is a narrator whose credibility has been seriously compromised. While unreliable narrators are almost, by definition, first-person narrators, arguments have been made for the existence of unreliable second- and third-person narrators, especially especially within the context of film and television. What are you laughing at, you fricks?
He said unreliable.
I said undeniable.
Oh, did you?
No.
What? When an unreliable narrator? When did I say that? I didn't say undeniable.
I don't know.
I didn't say undeniable at any point. I don't know why I thought I said that.
Because you said unreliable. You're being an unreliable narrator right now.
Anyway.
Have you brought up an example yet?
Hold on. Notable works featuring unreliable narrators. Wuthering Heights, Canterbury Tales,
By Chaucer?
Sound and the Fury, As I Lay Dying, Gone Girl. Gone Girl is a really good example. The Great Gatsby.
Haven't read it.
How about The Girl on the Train?
Was
Fight
that a
Club.
joke?
Fight Club's a great example.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You're like believing,
I'm with you on that
believing
one.
it, and then you're like.
I mean, I haven't read the
have-
book, but you can kind of see the
you have like
argument.
reason to question everything. With the movie, definitely.
You can have
I would say
unreliable
I think this
narrators
falls into this category.
Yeah.
You can have unreliable narrators in movies.
In kind of the same way Fight Club
There's
does.
some video games listed too.
Yeah.
Like
what are some examples of that?
I don't know if you would know of any of these. Bastion, BioShock, Braid,
Bastion. Yeah. Oh, Bastion's a great example.
Dragon Age 2.
I haven't finished that game, but
Final Fantasy, VII. I don't know my Roman numerals.
7.
Final Fantasy 7. That's like my favorite
Hotline
game ever.
Miami,
I don't agree
Silent
with that
Hill
one, though.
2. Maybe you didn't finish the game. I don't know.
I did. I've
Yeah, I'm
finished
trying
it
to
multiple
think where
times.
there's an
Thank
unreliable
you.
narrator in that.
Forrest Gump. I don't think I said it. Memento. That's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Is a
That is
movie.
Yeah.
All right, you
Video game.
fricks.
You're right. I think it it falls in to this.
I don't know if that's true, but you know.
Media.
Hey, did y'all ever watch Joan of Arcadia?
Fuck no. No, I didn't. I don't know why I reacted like that.
I liked that movie, but then I liked that show. But then there was this one like part where it turned out maybe she just had Lyme disease the whole time, and that was when I was like,
what was that? Was that the one about? Was that Amber Tamblyn?
Yeah, it was
the one where she was like could speak to God.
Yes, and then there was.
Oh, I did watch that with you. I think.
Yeah, probably. And then there was that other one that I loved, but it didn't get renewed for another season, Wonderfalls. I want to go back and watch that.
I remember that.
I think it was kind of because of Joan of Arcadia. They came out around the same time. It was one of those things, you know?
Yeah, that was like a common... I guess there were two shows. I don't know if I could say common.
But it was weird. It's like, why were...
Did you just neigh?
We are your quote horses.
Why were all these, like, girls just... hearing voices in sitcoms in the early 2000s. It's kind of weird.
Wasn't it?
You should write a thesis on it.
I thought it was a guy in Wonderfalls.
No, it was a lady.
Oh.
She was cool. She was very funny.
Wait, that's the same guy as in Pushing Daisies.
But he wasn't the main character if he
that
wasn't
was a fucking hilarious show.
No, I know. I just was looking up the
That's
cast
a great
and
show.
him.
Wonderfalls?
Yeah.
Pushing Daisies.
Pushing
yeah.
Daisies.
Is that streaming anywhere?
I don't know.
Amazon. I actually bought it a while ago to
well, then it's not streaming. It's streaming from your, like, purchased show account.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Listen, you're right. When you're right, you're right.
And right now, you're right.
I wonder why. Was that a thing?
Yeah.
I wonder why the Wonderfalls.
I wonder why the Wonder Falls on me. And like weird things would talk to her and tell her to do things.
Oh yeah,
and
she worked in a souvenir shop, right?
Yeah.
And it was like little fucking tchotchkes would
that
talk
feels
to her.
familiar. Like I saw an app.
Good show.
Good app.
Good app. Speaking of apps.
I'm sorry, we've dislodged the flow of
I
conversation.
don't even remember what was
Or
the
unreliable
leftovers. That's right.
narrators, and then
I actually only remembered I was talking about the leftovers because it's still on my TV and I can see it paused.
Honorable mention to Wonderfalls. People should watch. I'm going to rewatch that.
Is that anywhere? Where's that?
Well, I just pulled up the first episode on YouTube. I don't know how.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah. Wow,
YouTube.
there's so many shows I watched that I forgot I watched.
Oh my god.
That's
oh my
so
god.
cool.
I wish all the time that I could search into Spotify albums I used to really like.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, they have that time warp thing, time rewind.
They have a time machine?
Yeah, they have a time
No,
machine.
Hannah, I wanted to search my brain.
Hannah, you're so dumb.
I wanted
What?
to search my
How
brain.
long have you, Hannah, let me ask you a question. Let's go through a little interview here.
Okay.
How long do you think Spotify's been around?
Not.
Maybe like 5-6 years?
I don't.
How long do you think Erin's been listening to music?
Maybe like 5-6 years.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, no, you're right.
My obsession this week is music. You guys, I've just found this amazing thing.
Is this music? I'm gonna listen to that sweet, sweet music.
Oh, it's not playing?
Is this coming from the green or the black? The black? I love that.
Will you post that video that we're referencing? Thanks, Hannah.
Yes,
Yeah.
fine. Okay. Hold on.
Anyway, you guys.
Wonderfalls.
Oh, I want to mention one weird thing. No, not Wonderfalls, the leftovers. Quit trying to hijack my obsession. I want to mention one thing about this show, which I find really interesting. It's based on a book, but the book only covers the events of the first season. There are now 3 seasons out, I think. Or maybe like the 3rd season's coming out soon. I know for sure there are 2 seasons out. Apparently, among like the fan base, a lot of people hate season 1.
Oh.
Which I find weird because I really, really like it so far. So does Kylie. Our friend that told us about the show also really likes season 1. But apparently the creator, the guy who created Lost, is Damon, I think it's Damon Lindelof is his name?
That sounds right.
Has also said that he hates season 1, even though he wrote all of it. But everyone still loves the show, so I guess it must be real good in season 2.
Or it gets bad and those people suck and are bad.
Oh, God. Hope that doesn't happen.
Ooh.
I'm almost at the end of season 1, and I'm really, really liking it, and things are picking up, let me tell you.
You said you're almost at the end of season 1? Episode 1. What?
It's just, you're cutting in and out, and it sounds like you're just speaking
I am.
You're
You're almost at the end of season 1 or episode 1?
Season 1.
Oh.
I thought you said you watched one episode.
He did. He totally did.
You said I watched one episode and I'm about to watch another. Or
Yeah, you did.
about to watch some more.
Oh, I meant I just finished an episode.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hannah and I both thought that you only watched one episode.
Yeah, I probably said it wrong.
Yeah.
And I was
probably
like, all right, like,
I'm a stupid shithead.
all right, last minute
I know.
obsession.
I
Like,
know, I suck. I suck
she's baseball
big,
again.
fat donkeys.
All right.
Donkeys.
Wow.
Well, no, I'm the last minute obsession. I got these things in the mail today. So.
I mean, you ordered them before that, right?
No.
And just arrive, and you were like, oh, I love these.
I ordered them, yeah. I admit it.
Listen, I'm done
Okay.
with my obsession.
Good obsession.
Thanks.
Sounds cool. I think I watched some of it, honestly. I just did the thing.
Watch it again.
I just did the thing that you told me not to do, and I just searched espionage instead of espionage cosmetics. Like, what the fuck?
You know, I do that a lot in my line of work. I Google things all day, every day. That's true. That is totally true. I live on Google. So Google is like knows that I'm a developer, and so I usually like can Google things and just get a hit that is relevant to me right away. But the other day, I was looking for something in my field related called Target, and so I just Googled Target and was like really confused. I was like, what? Oh, I probably need some more words here for this one.
You want to hear a fun fact
Because you love Target, because
No.
they just take $100
about
at the door.
Googling programming related terms?
Yes.
If you Google, I think the term is dependency injection. If you Google it like over and over again, eventually just do that and see what happens.
No.
It should have basically like it's a thing that Google uses a lot. And so like if you Google it enough, the like screen kind of like drops down and it opens like a code snippet thing that can get you a job at
You
Google.
know, that's happened to me before. I might have
Really?
been searching for dependency injection, but I've definitely gotten that screen before where I could like have the option of submitting a code sample to work at Google. If you search recursion, that's also fun.
Oh.
Did you mean recursion?
I'm doing it.
I'm doing
It was like, we can tell you're a developer. Come work for us.
You just search it a bunch of times in a row, and then you get a job at Google?
Yep.
Wow.
I really might have been. Did you mean recursion?
Life hack.
Did you mean recursion? Yeah. Have you ever Googled do a barrel roll?
Yeah.
All right, that's
I
an
love that
old
game.
one.
It just happened to me.
It did?
Yeah.
The dependency injection
Yeah, but
thing?
I was
You can make it happen again if you were like refreshing repeatedly or
That's
something.
cool. I didn't realize I must have been searching for dependency injection.
I bet there are other terms too. It's just that one I know because Kylie had it happen
That's
to her.
cool. So cool. Did she apply?
Did she get the
She's
job?
she's had some run-ins with Google.
No.
Like bad run-ins?
Like gotten to the last stage of
Oh,
interviews a few
fuck.
times. Yeah. And then they fucking emailed her again and we were like, hey, you want to interview again?
Can
But like, I don't get it. They suck.
I just read you? That sucks. Sorry, tangent. Can I read you this like poster that I'm like seeing on the internet just now? It says we cater any event. wedding, graduation, horse funeral, drug intervention, Tuesdays, horse funeral, a quiet night alone, return of Jim, anniversary, parentheses, of a horse funeral. Tuesdays.
I saw that on a Facebook group that was about things you can't help but read in Griffin McElroy's voice. That's where I saw that. Where'd you see it?
On iwastesomuchtime.com.
Wow. It won't happen again. It started to slide down.
Try going incognito, you flip.
No.
Incognito.
Try going Magneto.
Nice.
Ian McCullen.
You're a Cullen. All right.
Did you hear about Ian McKellen, like, hurt his ankle or something, and he's in the middle of a run of performing some Shakespeare play in London, I think King Lear, and he, like, couldn't perform because he hurt his ankle, so instead he just, like, brought a chair out on stage and did, like, an hour-and-a-half long Q&A with the audience.
Okay, listen. I caught up real quick, but for a second I thought you said he brought a trout on stage.
Yeah, he did.
I heard a
That's
tray.
He sat on the trout, which was on a tray, and had a Q&A with the audience, and he refused to answer any questions about the trout.
Or the tray.
Or the tray.
Cool. Well, what do we do
Thanks.
now? Homework? Okay.
Yeah, what we always do.
All right, my homework is check out, if you like, like nerd stuff, check out Espionage Cosmetics. They're
if you're a fucking nerd.
probably not spies, and you can get cute nail wraps there. And also, read The Wicked and the Divine. That's my honorable mention for you. My Twitter is...
Is that your audible mention or your honorable mention?
My honorable mention, which I've made audible for our listeners because they listen.
Good.
On audible.com.
No.
They don't.
And my Twitter is at Anthropology, like the study people with an H at the beginning of it. And my other podcast is called So Dreamy. We talk about dreams. This week, we have a very special dream from our Aunt Connie. Aunt Deanie. And
this week,
it's
like
good.
the Sunday that the pod's released?
Yeah. No. This past week.
Jesus Christ.
I don't remember what we talked about.
Time is a construct.
So, anyway, whatever. Last week, on the 5th, if you go back and listen on the 5th of August, you can hear a very special episode with our aunt's dream in it, and it's a good one. Gets a little dark, but in a redemptive sort of way.
Whoa!
Mm-hmm. Erin.
I just want to mention, I had an anonymous complaint that a certain person who is a regular listener always checks for the pod as they're starting their Sunday morning chores in the morning of Sunday. And recently has not had our pod to listen to it, so has moved on with their life and gotten involved elsewhere. So would like a more regular release schedule. Look,
wow,
that's just anonymous. Like somebody like slipped a piece of paper under the door, like no name, no handwriting.
Was it Henry? It was fucking Henry.
It was
Erin. I was waiting for you.
Were you
this week?
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, or for either of you to fucking say anything.
I don't get Slack notifications on my phone is the issue. I've tried. I don't know what to do.
It's not the truth because I also had stuff to do because I'm just an adult human with a life. So
yeah,
I'm sorry.
What chores does Henry have?
Huh?
What chores does Henry have?
He's got to lick his butt thoroughly, at least thrice every hour. He's got a lot on his plate. You'd be surprised. He's had a cookie stuck in his Kong for weeks, so he's got to work on that. What, Hannah?
Are you telling me this loyal listener doesn't listen anymore? Because
No, they do.
Okay.
They do. They just would like it in the morning, as I think is the only.
Wouldn't we all?
Yeah,
you know?
wouldn't we all? Whew. Okay, my homework is read or listen to Annie on My Mind by Nancy Garden.
Thank you.
It's great. It's just lovely. It's a little have a support system around you, and listen to the book or read it. I enjoyed the audio version. There's a really cute Q&A after. And don't take your liberties for granted, and help fight for those who don't have theirs. My Twitter is @ErinByrne. I review lesbian movies on Instagram @LesbianMovieReviews. And is that the only 2 things that I ever do? That's all then. WayTooBroad.com.
WayTooBroad.com. Ben.
Yes.
What's your homework?
My homework
Yes.
is to watch The Leftovers on HBO.
Oh.
It's on HBO.
Yeah.
Oh.
My other homework is to look at my Twitter. It's @AnyDiscoGreg. It's been a lot of baseball lately, because that's what I like. Oh, I forgot to quote Rhea Butcher's great tweet again when I was talking about Aroldis Chapman. Apparently, you can hit women and play baseball, but you can't be a woman and play baseball.
Are you quoting that every week?
I might as well if Aroldis Chapman still keeps being allowed to play baseball.
You did it last week, too. I have a question.
Yeah, that was on purpose.
Do it every week.
I have a question. Yeah. They tweeted today something that I didn't quite understand about taking away baseball in domestic abusers. Hold on. Let me find it. You keep going.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I truly do not want domestic abusers to take the game that I love away from me. They should have it taken away from them.
Yeah.
So this is actually, you should listen to Three Swings because they talk about this. But one of the things that's really interesting about Rhea Butcher's history with baseball fandom is that as a kid, they were fans of the Cleveland baseball team and the Atlanta baseball team, both of which have really problematic names based on indigenous people. And so they've been in kind of this limbo in terms of fandom. Like, they live in LA, and last year the Dodgers were really good, and they went to a lot of Dodgers games, so they're a Dodgers fan, but in terms of like I have my whole childhood and up to now of being a Red Sox fan, and have really good fond memories of my childhood, and all of theirs are kind of tainted now in their mind because of this problematic name, and the process of realizing how problematic it was while still wanting to fondly remember the team. And so I think what they're talking about there is kind of the same thing where it's loving this game, but you can only take so much of like people be successful despite like reasons they should be not allowed to like participate in you know, this amazing game and this making a ton of money from it. You know, you can only take so much of that, I think is what they're saying there. Which I get. Every time I see Aroldis Chapman now, and I like I said in that when I retweeted Rhea Butcher's original thread on that a couple weeks ago, I forgot about that because I was so annoyed at how good he was for the Yankees as a Red Sox fan. And that's so fucked up because and I'm not saying that like it's everyone else's fault, but like it kind of is, it's also my fault, but like no one talks about that anymore. Right. They just talk about like his 22 consecutive save streak. Like it's it's just not in the conversation by and large, and then when it really, really should be.
Yep.
Right.
I think that's what they meant.
Gotcha.
Yep.
They got really emotional at the end of the last week's episode. No spoilers. So I'm a little worried that I'm worried not about like Rhea Butcher themselves, but I'm worried about like the fate of the podcast, because it seems like the stuff that's been going on lately has been really bumming them out.
Yeah, Roberto Osuna sucks a lot.
Yeah.
And the reaction at the choice of the Astros to acquire him, and the reaction from his now teammates who were so outspokenly against domestic violence has been very disappointing and very upsetting.
Yeah.
And they're a team that's like a World Series contender. And it's... oh my god, I need to mention that actually, because Rhea Butcher retweeted something about this. During last night's game, it was an ESPN like national broadcast, and they have on the ESPN team a Olympic softball player named Jessica Mendoza, who is one of the commentators along with Alex Rodriguez, and this guy named Matt Viscarsian, I think is his name. And like, they were talking about Roberto Osuna during that game, and Jessica Mendoza brought up this great point where she was like, you know, it's kind of upsetting that the Astros, I think that she said that like they traded integrity instead of prospects. Yeah. And I was like, wow, well said. And then right away, that Matt Viscarsian, the male commentator, like reminds everyone that criminal proceedings haven't started yet. Like they're scheduled to start in a few days.
Fuck
and
that
I was
guy.
Like, I don't fucking care. Like let's not jump so quickly to the defense. Right. Like let's just believe the people. Especially, I think this was the case where it was like on fucking video in a convenience store or something. Like there's footage of it. And also he didn't appeal, but choose to appeal, and he accepted the suspension immediately when it happened, and has repeatedly, in the language through his lawyer, said he's like remorseful about his behavior, even though he's going to plead not guilty. Like, because you know everyone fucking does that even when they're guilty, because that it might end up better for them. But like, very obviously did it. It's just so not relevant to me. And I get that like in our actually this criminal proceedings going to be in Canada, but like I get that we have innocent until proven guilty, but like that's purely for like criminal prosecution purposes. In terms of like participating in society and being allowed to make millions of dollars playing baseball, that's not the case. Like the new MLB rule that they've introduced about this allows them to suspend a player when investigation, like once there's an arrest, once there's any news of it, they can do that. That's freaking
like mansplain, like, well, actually,
yeah,
like, oh, it was
that's
really
infuriating.
Awful. And I was like kind of glad that I saw Rhea Butcher like retweet something about it, that like they got word of it, because I'm excited to like hear. I'm like excited to get to the latest episode now to catch up, to hear them talk about that moment, because I think they'll be very well spoken about as they always are.
Cool. Well.
Yeah.
There you go, being all passionate again.
What is?
Oh, there I go.
What's the format here?
Oh boy, we're well past homework, huh? Is the podcast candle out yet?
No.
This podcast for friends to talk about things they're feeling pretty lukewarm about.
So, but then I have to say that you can email us if you have a thing that you remember about any of our previous episodes that you're happy that we did, or you really enjoyed and you think about a lot, or you just want us to talk about again in our 50th or 51st episode. Email it to us at waytoobroad@gmail.com, or if you can't remember that, go to waytoobroad.com and go to the social medias link, and there's a place there you can click to email us.
Social
medias. Or you can tweet at us. You can, like, I don't know, send us a DM on Instagram or whatever. Just, like, contact us and tell us what you want us to know about how you've enjoyed the first year of our ear snack. And
1 year. Can you believe it, you guys? 1 year in your ear.
1 ear in your ear. If you liked that, if you want us to say that more,
what
email us about that.
That's not what I said.
And then if for all the rest of the links and stuff, go to WayTooBroad.com, and please leave us a review on iTunes or Podknife, and Aunt Brown, get in touch about what you want us to DM Barack Hussein Obama. And that's the end. That's how I'm going to end it. The podcast candle. Uh-oh.
Is misplaced.
The podcast candle's now extinguished.
Bye. Hannah, do you have to pee? Bye.
No,
okay.
I don't.
You're like doing your nails and then rushing us at the end.